welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
We've been hearing from quite a few of you lately,
Mm-hmm.
sharing something similar, really. Like the scales are doing unexpected things, maybe clothes aren't fitting quite right, especially around the middle.
Yeah.
And it can feel like your body's suddenly playing by different rules. It's easy to feel, well, confused or maybe even a bit frustrated.
Oh, absolutely. And those feelings, they're so understandable. Really, it's important for everyone listening to know that what you're going through is, it's really common.
Right.
And there's often a lot more happening, beneath the surface than just like needing more willpower.
Totally. So that's what this deep dive is all about. We're going to unpack the science behind weight changes during menopause.
Uh-huh.
And let's be super clear right off the bat. This is not about blaming yourself or thinking it's some kind of personal failing. You just need to, grit your teeth and push through.
Exactly. That's not it at all. What we're really exploring here is it's a natural biological transition. Think of it less like this big battle you have to fight and maybe more like understanding the new landscape, the new terrain you're navigating.
I like that. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key science-backed info and maybe offer some empowering ways to think about this.
Yeah.
We've looked at quite a bit of research, exploring the hormonal stuff, but also how lifestyle factors kind of play into it during this time.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how interconnected everything is. It's rarely just one single thing causing all the changes. It's more complex.
Okay, so let's jump into that. The first thing people usually think about is hormones, right? Specifically, that drop in estrogen during menopause.
Yes, that decline in estrogen is definitely a central driver behind a lot of the changes you might be noticing. Estrogen does way more than just manage reproductive health. It actually plays a really big role in how your body handles energy, so your metabolism.
Okay, so as estrogen levels naturally decrease, what actually happens, like metabolically speaking?
Well, essentially, your metabolism can become a bit less efficient.
Yeah.
Your body might not burn calories at quite the same pace it used to, even if your diet and your activity levels haven't really changed that much.
So it's like the body's internal engine is just idling a bit lower now.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. It explains why things can feel so different, even when you feel like you're doing the same things. And then there's that other thing people notice, fat seeming to, move around.
Yes. The redistribution of fat. That's another really common effect linked to lower estrogen.
Right.
There's often a definite shift towards storing more fat around the abdominal area, during and after menopause.
Which is, let's be honest, incredibly frustrating for a lot of people. You feel like you're doing everything right, but your body shape looks different.
It absolutely can be disheartening. I completely get that. And alongside this shift in where fat tends to accumulate, there can also be a decrease in muscle mass. Also linked to those hormonal changes. Now, muscle is like your body's little furnace, right? It's metabolically active, burns calories even at rest. Fat is more like, storage.
Gotcha.
So if you have less of that calorie-burning muscle tissue, it can, contribute further to that overall metabolic slowdown.
Okay, wow. So hormones are clearly a huge piece of this picture. But it's not just hormones, is it? What about sleep? Because sleep seems to go out the window for so many people during menopause.
That is such a critical point to bring up. Yes, menopause can seriously disrupt sleep patterns. You might find it harder to fall asleep. Maybe you wake up more often during the night, or the sleep you do get just doesn't feel as restful.
And how does that connect back to, weight or body changes, a bad night's sleep?
Well, poor sleep creates this kind of ripple effect. It can mess with your metabolism even more, and it also impacts the hormones that control your appetite.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, things like ghrelin, which makes you feel hungry, and leptin, which signals fullness. So when you're sleep deprived, you might actually feel hungrier more often or maybe less satisfied after meals, even if your energy needs haven't actually changed. It's like the body's hunger and fullness cues get a bit scrambled.
Wow, okay. So it's like this chain reaction then. Hormones shift, they can mess with sleep, and then the poor sleep affects metabolism and appetite signals.
Precisely.
It really drives home the point that this isn't just about willpower, is it?
Not at all. And that's why the whole narrative really needs a shift. Blaming weight gain during menopause solely on a lack of discipline, it completely ignores these very real, very significant biological changes happening inside your body.
Okay. So if we stop focusing only on, fixing our weight, what's a healthier focus? Where should we put our energy?
I think the emphasis really needs to shift towards prioritizing how you feel.
Hmm.
Aiming to feel stronger, more energetic, more comfortable in your own skin. It's about overall well-being, not just chasing a number on the scale.
I really like that framing. It feels much more positive. So, okay, let's talk strategy. What are some science-backed ways to support ourselves through this? Focusing on feeling good, movement first.
Yes, movement is key. And while, any movement is good, focusing on activities that build and maintain strength is particularly valuable right now.
Okay.
Think strength training using weights, resistance bands, even your own body weight. This helps counteract that potential muscle loss we talked about.
Right, the muscle being the furnace.
Exactly. Which in turn helps support a healthier metabolism overall.
That makes total sense. What about other kinds of movement? Is it just about lifting heavy things?
No, not at all. Activities that improve your balance and flexibility are also super important. Things like yoga, tai chi, even just regular stretching. They
Okay.
contribute to your overall physical function, help prevent falls, which becomes more important as we age, right?
Sure.
So the goal isn't purely about burning calories, it's about building a resilient, functional body.
Got it. Build strength, stay balanced, keep flexible. Okay, what about sleep then? We know it's often a challenge. What can people do to try and get better rest?
Yeah, prioritizing rest is honestly, it's non-negotiable if you want better metabolic function and better regulation of those appetite hormones.
Hmm.
Simple things can make a big difference, like trying to stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends if possible,
Okay.
creating a relaxing bedtime routine, maybe reading a book, taking a warm bath, gentle stretching, and making sure your bedroom is really set up for sleep. Dark, quiet, cool.
Those are definitely practical steps. Okay, nutrition. What's the best approach there? Is it about strict diets?
Definitely not about strict diets, no. The focus should really be on nourishing your body with nutrient-dense foods.
Nourishing, I like that word.
Yeah. So think about getting plenty of fiber fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Lean protein is important for muscle health, and healthy fats are crucial for overall well-being. It's not about deprivation or cutting whole food groups out. It's more about consciously choosing foods that fuel your body well, adding the good stuff in rather than just taking things away.
That feels way more sustainable and, frankly, more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay, last piece. Stress. We hear constantly that stress is bad for us. How does it connect here?
Oh, stress plays a really significant role, especially in relation to weight changes during menopause.
How so?
Well, when you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out more cortisol, the stress hormone,
Mm-hmm.
and persistently high cortisol levels can actually signal your body to store more fat, particularly, guess where?
Around the middle.
Bingo,
Right.
right in that abdominal area.
Wow, okay. So stress can directly contribute to that specific pattern of weight gain.
It absolutely can,
Mhm.
which is why managing stress becomes even more important during this transition.
So what helps? What are some good stress busters?
Finding ways to incorporate stress-reducing activities into your daily life is crucial. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be deep breathing exercises, mindfulness, or meditation, even for just a few minutes. Spending time outside, going for a walk, engaging in hobbies you genuinely enjoy, listening to music, connecting with friends, whatever helps you unwind and feel calmer.
Right. Little moments count.
They really do add up.
These are all such helpful, actionable things. And I think through all of this, the most important message for anyone listening is
That your worth, your fundamental value as a person, has absolutely nothing to do with the number on the scale or the size of your genes. Nothing.
yes. So important.
Menopause is a natural biological process. It's a transition, and it's something to be understood and navigated with, well, with kindness towards yourself, with self-compassion. Your body is adapting.
Exactly. It's about giving yourself that same grace and understanding you'd offer a good friend going through a major life change.
And, actually understanding these biological shifts, it can be really empowering
I so.
because it takes the focus off feeling like you've somehow failed and puts it onto making informed, intentional choices for your own self-care and well-being. It gives you back some agency.
That's a great way to look at it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we just really want to encourage you, everyone listening, to try and embrace that mindset. Be kind to yourself, be patient. This is a transition.
It really is. And maybe, just as a small practical step today, think about logging one wellness habit, something that feels genuinely nourishing for you.
Yeah.
It could be super simple, like a 10-minute walk outside,
Mm.
or making sure you eat a lunch that you actually enjoy and that fuels you well, or maybe just deciding to go to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight.
Small steps.
Yeah,
You are not broken. You are in transition, and we're right here with you exploring this stuff.
absolutely. And maybe just the final thought to leave you with, how can understanding that these changes are rooted in biology, how can that knowledge actually empower you to make choices that feel more self-compassionate and supportive for your own well-being moving forward?